Well, hello. So, welcome to my first Facebook Live in the group, and I'm both excited and nervous at the same time. I've no idea where this is going to go. I have a few things mapped out, and I really hope that you're going to find it of some use, at least. I did, and I'm sure some of the things that I'll talk about today you will too. What I want to do is jump straight into the presentation so that we're not left lacking in content, and hopefully you can see this. So the three things I needed to design for my first 7-figure financial advice funnel. That is my offer to you. And I also make a promise. If you stay to the end and in the comments, just write VSL. I will share with you when I've finished the creating of it my VSL formula. That's video sales letter formula that I used for my second and third 7-figure financial advice funnel. So by the end of this presentation, you would have had details on all three of my funnels, which is pretty good going. So who am I? Well, my name is Mark Knight, and I've been a financial advisor since 1990. I started with a firm called Prosperity, and what happened was Prosperity were one of those firms that took on 50 people to sell to their family and friends, and then they'd kind of wander off into the ether somewhere. The thing was, I didn't have any family or friends to sell or advise to, so actually it was quite fortunate because that helped me create my first niche. I didn't have to. I chose to sit on the bus for a few hours every day talking to bus drivers about pensions. And I ended up actually lasting a year in that company. All the other people who started with me, they came and went, and then the next tranche came in, they came and went. I think the final couple of months of that year, I was in an office for 50 people in the centre of Bristol, in a prestigious office by myself, Billy no mates. But it showed me some skills that I didn't have before. Also actually showed me some things that were going wrong with that whole system. The advice that some of the people who were brought on with me they were giving to other people, that kind of spurred me on to one of my niches that I'm going to talk to you about today. I've owned my own financial advice firm since 2005. And each year it's got progressively better. It's earned multiple millions of pounds in revenue, and I cannot believe, starting from where I began on a council estate in South Bristol, next to Hartcliffe, which is probably the worst council estate in the world, to end up where I am today is just phenomenal. And the fact that I'm now able to help and share that with other people is even better. So if you're here live, put hashtag live in the comments, and if you're watching the replay, put hashtag replay in the comments so I know where you're coming from. Also, if you've got any questions as we go through, you can either DM me or PM me, or just add the details in the comments too. Okay, so my financial advice firm, actually in 15 years we grew to 6,000 clients, and we have over 400 5-star testimonials and reviews, which we only managed to get in the last couple of years, which is pretty good going. And actually it's almost a closed book now. I'm selling the business. The sale fully completes in a couple of months' time, and I'm selling that for multiple millions. And I'm the only advisor in the world that has 3 awards for funnels achieving over $1 million each. In ClickFunnels, which is the funnel software I use, they give awards called 2 Comma Club Awards. And as you can see in the picture down below somewhere, I'm holding the awards there. So, I was looking in a Facebook forum the other day. Somebody mentioned that they wanted to talk, they might need help with coaching or mentoring. And then somebody put a comment in there that said, those who can't do, teach. And sometimes that's true, but I think it's overly important that if you're going to get somebody to help you get to where you want to be, that they've already been where you want to be and have proved success beyond anybody's dreams. I think I'm definitely not in that category of those who can't do, teach. So if you haven't already silenced your phones, silence your phones now. I'll just do that. Okay, so this is the basic outline of the 3 things that I believe are needed, and what I use to get my $1 million funnel. And if you have a $1 million goal, that's great. If you have a 200 grand goal, that's equally as good. I just cannot believe how well these things work. And it's almost as though the financial advice world are about 100 years behind and still relying on just websites. Websites won't get you where you want to go. Their websites are a background tool, I think. So I'm not going to go into great depth into these 3 things today. I'll do some more Facebook lives on these later on, but I just wanted to give you a kind of overview on the kind of things that I've done and the kind of things I could do to help you. So the first thing that we have is the chosen niche, then the offer, then the funnel. And the trio of those got me £1 million a few times. So a niche. So I've put the dictionary writing up of this, a specialized segment of the market for a particular kind of product or service. We're all trained to be general practitioners, GPs in a way, taking a holistic view. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. In fact, that's probably the right thing and the way to go. The thing is, if you're marketing everything to everyone, you're not marketing to anyone. Nobody wants that. And so what you have to do is choose a niche. So I'll give you an example for myself. My first niche in my company was endowments. What happened was, when I was working for Prosperity, a load of people that were working alongside me were setting up endowment plans for people and contracting people out of SERPs. They didn't have a clue about what an endowment was. They didn't have a clue about what the risk was, and they didn't know what SERPs was. They just knew that if they did these things, they would earn some money. Now, I know that there are really good financial advisors out there that have done great things for their clients. But I also know, and I'm sure you know as well, and I see it every day in the Facebook groups that I belong to, there are some dodgy things that are going on out there. At least many years ago, majorly dodgy things going on. And so when I was in Lloyds Bank, I kept getting loads of clients coming to me saying how bad their endowment was doing, and people sold it to them who were working for the life insurance company. Just didn't have a clue what they were doing. So we did a couple of things. We helped solve the endowment issue by moving the clients into a repayment mortgage, and I helped point the clients how to kind of get their monies recompensed to them. It was a great thing. Actually, I was charging much too less. I think the first month of me setting up my niche website, I probably got 1 inquiry, and that person said, "Why aren't you charging? Why are you charging so much less than everybody else?" So I had to triple my prices just to crazy, just to get leads. The following month, I think I got about 20 or 30 leads. So world's a crazy place. So your niche, my last niche when I just before I started closing the company down was pensions. Then you need an offer. So you need something that is going to grab someone's attention to make them do the thing that you want them to do. So in the funnel that I showed you earlier, niche, offer, funnel, the idea is to offer them something that they can download. They then become and get into your world and your environment. Once they're in there, that's where the awesome sauce starts pouring. So if we go back to my offer, the offer that I had for this live, I wanted to show you 3 things that I needed to do to design my first 7-figure financial advice funnel. Well, that's a pretty tempting headline, I think, and hopefully somebody's going to watch the live presentation on the back of that and hopefully get some good value from it. And then, of course, you need your funnel. So before we look at funnels, I just wanted to show you what a normal website looks like. So this is a typical website, and you can see we have home, who we are, areas of advice, how we work, which is fine and dandy. Inside each one of those, there's another 5 or 10 pages. I think there's about 30 pages in that website. You're not going to be able to sell anything to anybody with 30 pages on your website. However, it's very nice to have it in the background. So I call this shadow marketing. But you're not going to become wealthy just relying on something like that. Even if you paid Google or Facebook and brought people to that website, it's not going to sell. It's just, there's nothing there that makes it sell. And to give you a quick example, the screenshot that you see is what's known as the first fold. So that's the first page that people will see. There's nothing on there that's asking anybody to take action or any reason to take action. So there's a little tip. Always make sure that there's something very clear there straight away. Okay, so I got the drawing pens out for this. I've seen so many people and some of my coaches online drawing. I'm not sure what they're using to draw, but I'm sure it's not a mouse because none of my drawings look very good. In actuality, none of my drawings look very good anyway. They're looking even worse at the moment. So the idea behind this is that we have a squeeze page. So that's the thing that people are coming to your page to get. So for pensions, it might be, I remember going to a seminar a couple of years ago now, probably, where the bloke from LV said, if the beneficiaries reach, if children aren't named as beneficiaries and they reach 16, the trustees don't automatically choose them as beneficiaries. Or there was, I can't quite remember, but there was some tax disadvantages, and it's always better to add a phrase into the beneficiary form that allows the trustees to include them into that beneficiary form. But you could offer that up as a lead magnet, couldn't you? What happens to your pension if the trustees don't want to pay the money to your beneficiaries? I don't know. But as an example, and I'm sure that you can think of many more examples for squeeze pages. Anyway, the idea is that you give them something, they give you something. So you want their name and their email. So you get the name and the email. Once they click yes on the name and the email, what normally happens is the lead magnet is emailed to them, and they're then presented with your calendar page. So that's the second page in the process. They cannot get to that calendar page unless they put your details in. So the idea behind a squeeze page is you're telling people you either do this for this, or you go, and that's fine. That's exactly what you want, because if somebody's not willing to give you something in return now, then they'll see your advert again, or they'll come across you again, and then at that point that might be the time when it's right. Okay, so let's say 10 people have gone through your squeeze page, they've ended up on your calendar page, and I don't know, one out of 10 might be thinking, actually, it would be good to talk to somebody now. So they'll fill out your calendar page. By the way, have you got a calendar page? Because I've just been DMing some financial advisors out there, and I would say if I sent 10 DMs today, or PMs, are they DMs or PMs? Put what you think it is in the comments. I'm unsure, but I'll call it DM. So that 5 out of 10 didn't have calendars set up. In this world and this technology, that is crazy. Calendly offer a free calendar setup, and you can link it with your own calendar. So if you haven't got at least your calendar set up, you need to do it. It's just crazy. And don't second guess people. Don't think people will think that's a terrible thing for you to send them to book a time slot with you. Nowadays, if you don't have it, that looks terrible. Anyway, so 10 people go through your squeeze page, one person books in your calendar. But what happens to the other 9 people? Well, they go into your automated messages. And so at some point in time, either they click, yes, I want to book a calendar slot with you, or they get the next message, and then they get the next message, and then they book a calendar page with you, or they just keeps going. And so eventually one of two things are going to happen. They get to the end of your initial sequence, and they have booked a time slot with you, or they get to the end of your sequence, and they haven't booked a time slot with you. So what happens then? Well, then you create another sequence for them, and they go through that. And then each sequence can be longer. So the first sequence, say, might be one message every 2 days, for example. The second sequence, if they haven't booked with you, might be one message every 4 days. And then the third sequence might be one message every 10 days. And so that's something that we talk about with clients as and when that point in time comes. So the idea is it all starts with and ends with social media. And so it's like a cycle, and I haven't drawn in the final cycle here, but social media kind of encompasses all of this. So they go into your squeeze page from social media, and then into your calendar page, or they come back to it. And so you're always directing people back to social media. This process has made me, I don't know how many millions, but over a few £1 million just from my first funnel. Okay, but what happens if you can put that one funnel and take it and create fire and an explosion with it? This is where I've come up with my concept of the Trinity funnel. And that's having 3 funnels and 3 niches. So the first niche is your new clients. So new client niche. Who do you want to be your niche, your ideal client? Is that going to be someone who does pensions? One of my clients recently wanted their niche to be pension consolidation. Could be pension drawdown. Could be estate planning. Could be mortgage advice. Whatever the initial funnel is, that's your first funnel. Second funnel is your niche is now your existing clients. And so this is where, instead of you going to a client and saying, oh, I'd really like it if you could give me some referrals, please. This is where you put them into the messaging sequence. You do everything that I showed you earlier, but the only aim of this is to create referrals on autopilot. Yeah, all of these things are designed to maximize your revenue in every area, and it's just phenomenal what that one can do. And then the third one, which some of my clients have not taken on because they've just chosen not to, and some have, and using this is phenomenal, because you've got people out there now working for you to get new clients. And so, for instance, for myself, it was, my niche was pensions. My professional introducers were accountants. So I, using LinkedIn and Facebook, made friends with, got a group of accountants, doing exactly the same thing that I'm doing with all the financial advisors, which is my initial niche funnel now. And it's just crazy. It's absolutely crazy what this does. And just the words escape me how good this is. So let me just bring this back to me a moment. There we go. Press the right button. So I did tell you this was my first Facebook Live. So I hope we've kind of come to the end of this now, and I've settled down a little bit, which is a shame. So remember, if you are live watching, just add a comment saying live, and if you're watching the replay, add a comment replay. That way, the Facebook algorithms get the message out there. So I just wanted to recap a couple of things with you. One is that having a sales funnel for your specific niche will turn your business upside down and do exactly what you want it to do. So if you have a goal today that in 12 months' time you want to be bigger and better and stronger and brighter, a funnel will do it for you, hands down. Having your shadow website in the background is important, but that's just extra collateral and assets that you've got there. But you need to think about, what is my what is my niche? Who do I want to work with, and what can I offer them? The next thing is, if you stay to the end and you type in the comments box VSL, Victor Sierra Lima, I will send you my breakdown of my video sales letter. It's like a mini webinar, I suppose, of how I made my other two seven-figure funnels, basically. And that's going to be really cool. But for now, I think we've run out of time. I'm off to Weymouth for the weekend, for the glorious bank holiday weekend, and driving down on a Friday to the south coast from Bristol. That's going to be fun on the M5 car park. But for now, well, don't forget, if you've got any questions, you can put them in the comments or send me a private DM. I can already see that I've had some DMs coming through. But for now, thank you.